Today on the Philly Talk podcast, we talk about Jalen Hurts' Super Bowl performance. It was so good that Travis Kelce came out and said, you can argue the point that Jalen Hurts, even in a loss, could have won MVP of the Super Bowl. We discussed that. Brian Johnson as lead candidate for the OC position of the Philadelphia Eagles. And we got to talk about these lists being made for top 5, top 10 quarterbacks going into the 2023-2024 season. If Jalen Hurts ain't in your top 5, you got to stop talking football.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk podcast. And today we got a bunch to get into. But before we do that, Eagle Nation, I'm going to ask y'all a favor. Help your boy out and hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new. And ding that bell so you know when we go live, which we will be doing a lot this offseason, or drop a video at our normal time, 5:30, 5 o'clock, or even later like today. Was very busy. Had to get this out around 9:15. Anyways, let's get into it right here. Travis Kelce on a New Heights podcast with his big bro, Jason Kelce, talked about Jalen Hurts' Super Bowl 57 performance. His exact words were, he arguably could have won MVP even with the loss. The way he just, with how many touchdowns, he was just lights out with his feet, with his arms, you name it. He was playing his tail off. Heck of a game from Jalen Hurts. And then Big Bro talked about the accolades. First time in Super Bowl history that a quarterback rushed for 3 touchdowns. First time in Super Bowl history that a quarterback rushed for 70 plus yards in the game. And while doing that, dual threat, that people want to say stuff, he threw like a passer for 304 yards, had a passer rating of 103.2, just a terrific performance. And I know a lot of people are holding the fumble over his head. Nobody touched him. He gave 7 free points. I understand that. But if he don't fumble, who's to say it's a completed pass? Who's to say that we don't punt the ball and the very next play, the Chiefs score? We don't know because that play will never be seen. The way our defense is playing, I don't know what could have happened. Anyways, to have 35 points scored and still lose, to hold a record for the most points put up by an offense in a Super Bowl loss, just goes to show that the defense let the offense down, and Jalen Hurts has now one of the best performances in the Super Bowl. It just sucks that it comes with a loss. With the loss. Now, let's get into this Brian Johnson stuff, right? So, Eagles quarterback coach Brian Johnson will be promoted to the Eagles offensive coordinator position. You can take it to the bank per Adam Schefter. So, he's that certain that Brian Johnson will be the guy. Schefter added that Johnson was garnering a lot of interest from teams for their open OC roles, and at least 6 different teams would have hired him. That goes to show that the Eagles kind of knew that the Colts wanted Shane Steichen. We knew that. That's why the leak came out on Super Bowl Sunday before the game. We knew that, and we told Brian Johnson, if you stay here, you're going to get that position. So I think that's 100,000% filled already. It just hasn't been put to pen to paper and came out on the Eagles website, and I love it. These guys knew each other since Jalen Hurts was 4 years old. There's a love relationship there, a working relationship. He can push Jalen, and we already seen it as the quarterback coach, him coming out having an MVP candidate season, finishing second in MVP votes, being an all-pro second team at the age of 24 and leading his team to the Super Bowl and having one of the best performances in the Super Bowl for such a young quarterback. I'm excited to see Brian Johnson, Nick Sirianni, what they do. Do they get some other offensive help in there as an assistant to help with play calling? Does Nick Sirianni start calling plays? Does Brian Johnson call plays? That's stuff that can be developed in the offseason, but I'm glad Brian Johnson gets an opportunity. I believe in him. Now, to these quarterback lists that come out, right? Because the first thing I want to show you is the fact that Colin Cowherd came out with his top 10 quarterbacks, and it's Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence at 3, Justin Herbert at 4, Josh Allen at 5, Jalen Hurts at 6. And he got Stafford, Rodgers, Jackson, and Goff. Cool. It is what it is. No Dak on there. I'm not here to argue if he should be or shouldn't be, but he did lead the league in interceptions in 2022. Can't forget that. My thing is, there's no way you can have T Law in front of Jalen Hurts. I understand Justin Herbert is the social media quarterback, Jesus in cleats, even though he hasn't won a playoff game. You can't put him or Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts leaped Josh Allen throughout the year in MVP play. Great runners. For what you say Jalen Hurts can't do throwing the ball, he's proved it multiple times this season. And in the biggest game of this season, the Super Bowl, he threw the ball lights out. See, Jalen is like a chameleon. He really adapts to the situation and what needs to be done that game. He could look like a scrambling quarterback only one game. He could look like a pocket quarterback the next game. And then he can do what he did in the Super Bowl. 15 carries, 70 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 300 yards, dotting people up left and right, left and right. Here's my thing. Colin Cowherd, Dave Hellman, who has Jalen Hurts, he said anywhere between 6, 7, 8, 9. He said Mahomes in a tier 1, Allen and Burrow, tier 2 and 3. And then he said 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can put any order. But he didn't have Jalen Hurts in top 5. Here's my thing. Jalen Hurts is top 3. I'm giving y'all the benefit of the doubt and saying any list made by an analyst, by a regular person on the streets, anyone who don't got Jalen Hurts in their top 5 quarterbacks going into next year don't understand the question. Grading the 2022 season with some projection for the future. You can say, well, I think this guy's going to get better here. He was already good here. You can do that, but the majority of it got to be on what we saw in 2022 with some projection of the future. Again, the main body of work is from what we just seen in 2022. You could make a point that Jalen Hurts is second or third. I'm taking him second, but if somebody tells me 3 and puts Joe Burrow second, I'm not going to be the one to argue that crazily for the simple fact that Joe Burrow got a Super Bowl, Hurts got a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow was a MVP candidate. Jalen was an MVP candidate. Joe Burrow didn't beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, just like the Eagles didn't beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But the next year, Joe Burrow then went to the AFC Championship. So Joe Burrow got a Super Bowl appearance in the AFC Championship, and he lost to the same team we did. But again, I'm not here to say Joe Burrow is the definitive number 2. Jalen Hurts is the definitive number 2. This year, Jalen Hurts was the definitive number 2. That's why he was All-Pro 2. All-Pro 1, Pat Mahomes. All-Pro 2, Jalen Hurts. But you can say Jalen Hurts second, Burrow third. Or Burrow second, Hurts third. I'm not going to really fight you on that. I'm not putting T-Law. I'm not putting Herbert. I'm not putting Allen. He outplayed them this season. And someone who's took this leap, to me, is not going to fall back. Oh, but Carson Wentz was good for 1 year and then fell apart. Carson Wentz was a top scouted candidate, a quarterback. He was drafted second overall. He was always supposed to be good. Y'all didn't say that for Jalen Hurts. The leaps and bounds he took, the mindset he has. Another thing, 2 different mindsets. Someone with Jalen Hurts' mindset never goes backwards, only goes forward. But how do you know? It's just who he is. It's been shown every single year of his career, from Alabama to Oklahoma to the NFL. He's gotten better. And he proved people wrong. Again, Mahomes number 1. Burrow or Hurts number 2. The other one number 3. And you can have fun with 4, 5, 6. But the main thing is, even people at home, writing on a piece of paper, if you do not have, I got him 2 or 3. But you, not my Eagle fans, but anybody watching this who's not an Eagle fan, even with your unbiased opinion, you should not be able to put him outside five. If you want to be biased and say, well, I do like the canon of Burrow and Herbert and Allen, the furthest back you can put him, furthest, is five. I got him two or three. And I think, as Mahomes said, we're going to see this matchup again. Jalen Hurts is not falling far from what we see. And when we talk about contract, oh, it's going to be 45 million. Oh, it's going to be 50 million. Oh, we're not going to have cap space. That is cap. That is cap too. I just said this. Haters are going to be like, y'all going to be like, I thought Howie Roseman and the Eagles went all in last year. How did they sign him and him and him and re-sign all them? Because Howie's going to get it done. Jalen Hurts, whether the number is 50 million in bold, in bold letters, numbers, inside the contract's going to have this stipulation, this stipulation. It might be pushed this way. I can see a real long-term deal where then we can just do whatever we want with the money. There's clauses in it. Listen, Howie's going to make sure that while we have Jalen Hurts, we can afford a roster. And Jalen Hurts is going to. He wants his money. He deserves his money. He's going to get his money. But if you ask me, Jalen Hurts wants to win as much as any true star competitor. And he's going to allow Howie to build a roster around him. It's just who he is. It's just who he is. He got that Tom Brady mindset. He's cut from that cloth of just fierce competitors. We gonna see. He gonna get his money. He gonna be top paid. 1 year he's gonna be one of the top three, top two highest paid quarterbacks. But I guarantee you, the window's open. We got draft picks. If you look at over the cap right now, doing this, that, and the third, you could be north of 30 plus million when you restructure three guys who dang sure are going to get restructured. You could be looking at 33-ish, 30 million, barring what we do with Jason Kelce's 11 million. Kelce, that could put it to 43 million, 44 million. Who knows? But I think Kelce low-key coming back. He said he needs some time, needs some time, he needs some time. We saw today Cam Jurgens say, if Isaac Seumalo leaves, I'm willing to play right guard. Ooh, talk about second-level blocking then. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Again, we going to have mock drafts, videos, mock drafts lives where you pick. We're going to do off season. Who should we go out and spend money on? Who should we resign? Blah, 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 blah. Stay tuned. Stay with notifications on. If you don't got notifications on throughout the season, put them on. It's going to be a fun ride. We're getting back. Hit the like, subscribe, ding the bell. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. I love hearing from you, Eagle Nation. Until next time, you know what time it is. We out.